Hi, everyone. This is Ali Hussein Kassim of Ali Talks Tech. We're back to our normal recording and reporting of news after last week's Africa Fintech Live event. Today, I am covering a couple of interesting stories. The first one is Kenya's High Court ruling against Worldcoin, declaring its operations illegal. The second story is around. So I had this moment a couple of days ago where I was just reviewing data on Africa's tech funding from 2021 to date. And I have some conversations around that. The third story is about the fin in fintech. Paystack's issues with the Central Bank of Nigeria, where they have been fined $190,000 for launching a wallet without the central bank's approval. Now, we'll talk about the different licensing issues and the different licensing segments that fintechs get licensed around, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. Then we'll look at Revolut's announcement in its move into mobile services. Now, this is around the mobile MVNO, rather, mobile virtual network operator. And for those of you who may think that this is revolutionary, I would like to just let you know that it's been a decade since Equity Bank launched Equitel, which is basically the first financial services player that moved into mobile services in Africa and the larger world. Then the last conversation today is around artificial intelligence. A communique from Fiverr CEO, and almost immediately after that, hardly 48 hours later, we get an announcement by the regulator who regulates and licenses law firms in England and Wales, saying that they have licensed the first ever AI only legal firm. So let's move straight into our Worldcoin controversy and Kenya's High Court basically saying, wewe mzungu, cease these operations. They are illegal. This brings me to the issue around data and whether the data, we keep on talking about how data is the new oil, but who has the license to mine it and who is actually monetizing that data? We have a situation today where almost akin to the traditional mining ecosystem, where you have artisan miners and laborers on the mining fields, and then you have major corporations who are actually making the bulk of the money when it comes to oil or mining operations. Are we seeing the same situation in data? And are policymakers and regulators on the right track to say, no, we feel that you're being unfair here. We feel that this data belongs within the country, and we feel that you are not compensating people adequately. So here are the facts. This week, Kenya's High Court ruled that Worldcoin's operations illegal and ordered the immediate deletion of all biometric data collected from Kenyans. This decision targets a controversial project co-founded by OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman. Worldcoin is co-founded by Sam Altman, the OpenAI founder and CEO, which has offered cryptocurrencies, WLD tokens, in exchange for iris and facial scans through its orb devices. We are talking about 350,000 Kenyans that have registered with Worldcoin before the government put a stop to it. What are the implications? And how is this looking from a global perspective? So, first, this ruling is setting a precedent across the world. And globally, regulators in countries like Germany, France, the UK, and Argentina are also busy investigating Worldcoin for potential data privacy violations. So, key questions that are being raised here. 1, data governance in emerging markets. 2, the ethics of biometric data collection. 3, what is Africa's role in setting global standards for digital innovation and data stewardship? I believe this is not the end of this conversation. My sense is that Worldcoin would appeal, so we will be updating this story as it unfolds. Interesting times. Now, about my thought process and conversation around Africa's tech funding journey from 2021 to date, we have seen tremendous yo-yo-like growths, ups and downs. But what is, for me, crucial is for us to start seriously thinking and celebrating beyond raising. And I know I've said this before, and I'm starting to sound like a broken record. But here's me continuing to sound like a broken record. What are those key things that we need to start looking at? We need to start focusing on beyond just funding. Number one, I think the issue with funding in Africa is that the majority of funding that is being reported, and I believe that there is funding that is never reported and that is raised locally. But there is the issue of too much celebrating on raising a couple of $1 million. And then the next thing we know, startups are falling like dominoes. So what are these issues that we need to focus on? We need to start focusing on impact. What is the economic impact of these startups? What are the key problems they're actually solving across Africa? And important metrics like path to profitability, return on investment are going to start becoming things that startups discuss as opposed to burn rates, downloads, and stuff like that, vanity metrics. So we're going to see, hopefully, a fundamental change in how we engage in the ecosystem. Now come to the story of Paystack, which is a leading fintech in Africa. Paystack was a couple of years ago acquired by Stripe, which is one of the largest fintechs in the world. The Central Bank of Nigeria has decided that this to find Paystack and basically sanction them and say, you are doing something you're not licensed to do. So Paystack is licensed to be a payment service provider. The Central Bank of Nigeria has said Paystack has launched a product that is holding money, a wallet, which basically means that Paystack has inadvertently or without realizing it or ignoring regulations or not ticking the dots and crossing the I's of compliance, launched this wallet. And the Central Bank of Nigeria says you don't have a license to launch a wallet. In its defense, Paystack says, but we have partnered with a bank. Now, what has been left unsaid? It will be important to hear from Paystack the full story. Is this: did the bank that Paystack partner with informed the central bank of Nigeria? Did they get a letter of no objection? Or was there a blanket letter that banks can actually partner with fintechs across the different spectrum of financial services? That is what has been left unsaid. It will be important to get the side of the story from Paystack and a fuller explanation from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Having said that, my last word on this is my compatriots in the fintech ecosystem in Africa and across the world, let's not forget the fin in fintech. Now we come to Revolut's announcement that it's moving into mobile services. Guys, this is not revolutionary. It's great. It's a good idea. And I think with Revolut's traction and impact and brand equity, we are going to see some very interesting conversations when it comes to their mobile services. So this is a mobile virtual network operator license, and not sure which telco they are partnering with, but they are gonna be offering mobile services. What does this mean? What's the big question here? So as fintechs are racing to become mobile providers, who will lead this convergence? And how fast will it scale? This is going to be interesting. Be watching very closely the launch and the go-to-market strategy for Revolut as far as this is concerned. My last conversation today is on AI. Is AI the new fire? Are we too gung-ho about this, or are we too conservative about it? Now, I would like to quote Amaras Law. Amaras Law is from a professor a couple of years ago called Amara, who coined this term. We tend to overestimate the effect of a technology in the short run and underestimate the effect of it in the long run. We have seen inventions that have completely changed humanity, from the discovery of fire to the wheel, to the printing press, to the internet, and now to artificial intelligence. Question to pose to everybody who's watching. How has AI impacted you from work to your personal lives? It's going to be very, very interesting. But as the Fiverr CEO released a communication to the Fiverr ecosystem, and he was so blunt in his message. Simple. But I'm going to pick a couple of things that he said that resonated with me. More importantly, if you want, you can read his full letter to the ecosystem. It's on my LinkedIn page. Go to it, scroll down, and you'll find it. So Micah Kaufman simply said, he didn't hold back his message, and let me read it verbatim. AI is coming for your job. Heck, AI is coming for my job. So adapt, evolve, or get left behind. Then he says, if you think I'm full of shit, or just an ass, you can fill in the blanks, trying to scare you, be my guest and disregard this message. But I don't think a promising professional future awaits you if you disregard this reality. Is this doom and gloom? Is it a wake-up call rooted in care, clarity, and radical candor? I leave that to you guys. I know there are two spectrums. One side who is completely anti-AI, and for various reasons, for ethical issues, for issues that they just simply don't believe in it. And then there are the other spectrum where you have diehard AI guys who understand and know the potential impact of it, and it's both positive and negative. There are guys who are alerting us and telling us, guys, be careful. Don't move too fast in this. But bottom line, guys, the world is changing. Don't get left behind. Personally, using AI tools, that has impacted my daily life tremendously. Productivity has gone up potentially 10x. So the $1 billion question or the $1 trillion question is, do you want to left behind? And if you think that this is something that is just passing, here's an interesting story that is just breaking in the last couple of hours. This week, the Solicitors Regulation Authority in the UK has made history by authorizing an a law firm called Garfield Law as the first purely AI-driven law firm to provide regulated legal services in England. Guys, that story is also on my LinkedIn profile. Go read it. To quote Micah of Fiverr, adopt, evolve, or get left behind. With that, ladies and gentlemen, looking forward to speaking with you again next week. Asanteni sana.